What is the most overlooked weapon in Battlefield 6? It doesn't involve some obscure unlock. It's actually one of the very first weapons you're given, the M433. And while everybody else is busy chasing the same metas, they're missing out on an AR that can outgun even the best LMGs at range. The problem is that the M433 is seen as a starter weapon, and nothing more, so most players just drop it and never look back. But that's the mistake. The M433 actually has some of the most consistent recoil, accuracy, and damage in the AR class, making it a laser straight out of the gate. And I found the perfect attachments that'll lean into these strengths, turning this forgotten rifle into a silent powerhouse. In this video, I'll give you the complete build for snappy ADS, pinpoint accuracy, and most importantly, making you a ghost on the enemy's minimap. So I'll quit wasting time and get straight into the firing range. Alright, first thing I want to know before we get into anything is the damage at range. One thing you're going to notice is I'm just going to stick one bullet into this target at the very end, and it's 20 damage. And that range is about 80 to 100 meters, I think. You can't really see the numbers past 30 meters, so you kind of have to guess, but the point is, you can do a lot of damage at range. Which is really important because a lot of targets are going to be at mid-range, from like the 30 to 60 to 70 meter range. So you're definitely going to need that damage. The M433 will do 20 damage from about 80 meters or so, whatever that range is, up to 20 meters. And anything past that or closer is going to do 25 damage. So you're going to have a 4-shot kill from about 15 meters or closer, and a 5-shot kill anything past that, which is definitely going to be really good in most scenarios. You're going to be able to take out enemies pretty quickly as long as you hit all your shots. Recoil, as you can see, isn't the worst thing. It's actually pretty easy to maintain. It still does have a slight bounce. You can tell mostly when you're aiming at range, but anything up close, about 40 or 50 meters, it's pretty easy to hit your target. As you can see, the foregrip doesn't really ruin the ADS accuracy. It does get a little tough when you're shooting at this range right here, but it's still pretty easy. You just gotta slow down your burst a little bit. If you do struggle shooting at range, you could also just turn on the single fire mode, which, you know, I'm terrible at it, but maybe you're a little bit better. Maybe you can hit your shots a bit more consistently when you're single firing. Just want to show real quick, this is what the recoil looks like when you shoot in small bursts, so about like 8 to 10 bullets maybe. This is what it'll look like for the most part. It goes up diagonally, but there are a few jumps where it jumps to the left and right. And up here is when you're just continuously firing, when you just dump your whole mag at a target. At first it starts, you know, diagonal, as normal, but as it goes up, you can see it starts to jump pretty badly. Part of that does have to do with the spread of the gun, but most of that is the recoil. The recoil does build up as you fire, just like the ADS accuracy does. So that is something you need to be aware of. Personally, I'd say it does take a little bit of getting used to when you're using this build, but once you warm up to it, it's insanely easy to hit all your shots. Alright, so let's get into the gunsmith. This time around, you will need to pay attention because this isn't your average copy-paste build. Each attachment is crucial to getting the most potential out of this AR. First up is going to be the standard suppressor. I know I just said this isn't a copy and paste build, but the suppressor is honestly so overpowered, and it's not worth using anything else in my opinion. If you don't already know, the standard suppressor will hide in-world spotting and player icons on the minimap while firing at the cost of hipfire accuracy. The description seems simple, but suppressors provide a massive tactical advantage. It lets you flank, hold down your positions, and pick off enemies without your location immediately flashing on the map for the whole enemy team to see. For the barrel, you need to equip the extended barrel. This attachment does two critical things for this build. First, it cranks up the muzzle velocity, bringing it up to 837 meters per second. Turning up your muzzle velocity is going to make it a lot easier to challenge enemies at far ranges. Your bullets will hit enemies quicker, and you won't have to lead as far on targets that are running across your screen. And second, it actually speeds up your ADS time. With the two of these improvements, the M433 becomes a lot snappier. It allows you to shoot as fast as you can react. The underbarrel is going to be the ribbed vertical foregrip. This foregrip will moderately increase your recoil at the cost of ADS accuracy while moving, but it's absolutely worth it. The M433 does have a bit of a side-to-side bounce, and this foregrip deletes that recoil entirely. And with this foregrip, you can't blame the gun when you miss your shots. And now for the attachment that fully ties this build together, the 50mm blue laser. This build takes a hit to hipfire and ADS accuracy because of the suppressor and the foregrip, but this laser brings it all back by increasing hipfire accuracy and ADS accuracy while moving, which is crucial to preserving the M433's natural precision. Even with the hit to ADS accuracy, this attachment still lets you hit exactly where you aim. For the magazine, I'm using the 30-round fast mag with standard ammunition. Some sacrifices had to be made to use the suppressor, laser, and foregrip, and the mag was the only attachment I could change. Luckily, this does increase your reload time, so you can quickly reload between kills, and if you're accurate enough, you could easily get 2 or 3 kills with one magazine. Just remember not to get too confident and run out into the open. Finally, we have the 1x mini flex sight. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter what sight you use, since this build will remain incredibly accurate no matter the magnification. But this sight specifically does keep your vision clear while you're aiming in, so it is worth using. So there you have it, the build that turns this rifle into a meta powerhouse. Give this build a try, and I guarantee you'll be shocked at how good it is. If you like it, come back here and let me know how it feels in the comments. And if this guide helped you out, then do me a favor and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more meta breaking builds like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.